lot of different ways to make it, but whether you like it basic or filled, the king cake is a Mardi Gras tradition. Now, a little background on the king cake. It came from France and became a thing in New Orleans about 150 years ago. And the king cake is a kind of a cross between a French pastry and a coffee cake. It's covered with icing and sprinkled with colored sugar. The royal colors represent the three wise kings: purple for justice, green for faith, and gold symbolizing power. There's also a modern addition to the sweet treat to bring you luck. And today we're in luck because we're taking king cake to the next level with Chef Jasper. Why are sweets so significant during Mardi Gras and Carnivale?
Just like I said about when we were making the pasta earlier, you know, you're fattening up. You know, you want to get ready because in Lent you cut back.
You cut back, yeah, that's right.
So you want to eat all the butter, all the fat, all the sugar that you can, you know, before, especially on Mardi Gras on Fat Tuesday.
Yeah.
So, I make my cake just a little bit different this year. First year I've ever changed it.
Okay.
And the recipe is the same that you all had that they'll put up on the screen later and that they'll have on the website, but I'm adding cannoli filling to it. Come on,
I knew
Bill.
it had to be cannolis.
See, I didn't even tell you this yet. See?
I mean, it just clicked. Yeah, so what are you going to do to get started here?
So here, my wife taught me this year. A couple of weeks ago, we were doing some cinnamon rolls. Instead of mixing in a bowl, get a big bag like this.
Get the gallon freezer bag?
Yeah, exactly.
So just some flour first?
A little flour. Of course, I have a little bit of sugar, a little more than a little bit of sugar.
A little bit of sugar there.
Some milk, of course.
Okay.
And our butter and egg mixture. If you'll just hold this open for me. And I have the butter and egg right here.
Okay. So just a little bit partially melted butter, or just softened butter?
Exactly. It's just softened. I didn't want to put it on the stove too long. Then I added my egg.
Okay.
Take most of the air out of it, just like this right here.
And then seal it?
And then you seal it, and then we start mixing the dough right in here.
Okay.
I like a little cinnamon in mine, so I brought some cinnamon along also into the dough.
Yeah.
It gives a little more flavor. Of course, it's almost like a cinnamon roll.
It almost is. See, I didn't know what a king cake was. Now, my wife grew up on the Gulf Coast, so she did Mardi Gras, the whole thing.
Exactly.
And I was just a little kid from Wyandotte County, and I didn't know anything about king cake until about 4 or 5 years ago. And she's like, "Oh yeah, you find the baby in and everything." I'm like, "There's a baby in the cake?"
Look here, I even brought the baby for you.
He's right there. You see
Yeah,
that?
how about that? So now, you know, it's 2019. We want to be, you know, everything want to be correct. We don't have any problems at all. So we leave the baby on the outside.
Oh.
We can't put him inside in case someone swallows him.
Just in case he swallows.
Lawsuits and everything from there, you know.
We don't eat babies. All right, well, we get the dough made, and what's the key to making sure the yeast rises and the dough rises and everything once we get
that's just it. I have the yeast with the flour, and what happens, it's reacting right now.
So it's already working in there.
I'm old school. I used to do the yeast, a little bit of water, a little bit of sugar, and you feed the yeast and you get it going, then you add it. But now, today, with the active yeast, you just add it to your flour.
Right away?
Exactly.
Okay.
And you put a little water in there also. There's my mixture right there. Then we'll finish with this right here.
So after you get it all, now how do you, can you explain real quick how you do the roll and put it in the design?
I do it just like a cinnamon roll. I actually roll the dough out.
Okay.
Okay, very simple. I add more cinnamon. I add a little bit more butter to the Mardi Gras, of course, and then I roll it just like a cinnamon roll. But then I just turn it into, and you can actually do, you know, if you want to braid it, you can do whatever you want. I'm not that great at braiding, but that's the way I do mine. And then I made a little bit of cannoli filling.
Okay.
So of course I had to cut it in half, and I put the filling, a little bit, not too much, of the icing and powdered sugar, and I put a little bit of almond in here. So we mix this up. How quick is this? You know, it just takes just a few seconds to make your icing.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
And we have our icing, and you can make it. Now, I like my icing a little bit watery because I will put on some more icing. I kind of drizzle icing on the top, so I always have a little bit more left over. We put this icing on, and then you just said it, the colors, and you knew every one of them. The gold, the purple, and the green for the three wise men, because it continues. Epiphany continues.
That's right.
To Mardi Gras.
Well, Jasper, I will admit that the only reason I knew that is because it was written in the teleprompter.
Oh, I was very impressed you kept talking about that.
It's like, look how much this guy knows. Yeah,
exactly. And then we finish up with the beautiful king cake. It's so flavorful, but I cut mine in half, like I said, and I put a filling in.
Put it inside there?
You could put a cherry filling, apple filling, pineapple filling. You could do cream cheese, you know, get cream cheese and whipped cream. You could soak it in rum. The list is endless. The cake is your basis, and that's what we have made.
Well, we can't wait to try some of this, Jasper. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the cannoli and all. Just thank you.
Le bon Jean, how do you say it?
I don't know. I'm German.
I'm Italian, come on.